Good morning. Nyarji Jimbo Zo Dening Mi Yang Zoni Molam Jimbo Ngab Jata Pankartangan Sandu Hirmado Tumba Tukji Janla Kipshagan Sar. Thank you for coming for this retreat. This is the fourth Vajrasattva retreat that we have done with Bodhicitta Sangha. And Vajrasattva practice is actually Buddhist Vajrayana practice. But I think everybody needs to purify their negative karma. So that's why maybe you don't know what is Vajrayana. To practice because the purification, because we all need purify our negative karma. We accumulate our negative karma every day. So that's why the best way to practice Vajrasattva is every day. Because we need to purify our defilements every day. Maybe you do practice every day, maybe you don't. But today, all day, practice Vajrasattva. That's very good as a group, But before, one of the most important is correcting your motivation, and you should feel that this retreat will benefit for yourself and not only yourself, also other beings who created strong, deep negative karma and who are suffering. So you have to think all of that. And you should think that during this meditation practice, Vajrasattva practice, I will purify myself in order to attain the enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. So this is your motivation, okay? This is your motivation for this retreat, for this teaching, for this meditation. So if you have that kind of motivation, then this practice will be really benefit for everybody. So that's why Buddhist point of view, whatever you listen, you practice, whatever your dharma activities, you have to first correct your motivation, otherwise not so much benefit. You have to know that. So do you understand how to, most people understand how it is important and how to correct your motivation. So you understand that. I just remind you all the time. So today also, of course, very important because we are going to meditate whole day. Meditate, listen teaching, and then visualize all these things. Recitation, very important. First, correct your motivation, okay? Because if you are not correcting your motivation, which means maybe your motivation, your intention is not really for pure, motivation, that means if there is a sort of negative energy during your retreat, your practice, which is incorrect motivation, then it's difficult to meditate and also difficult to develop your mind. And this purification, this Vajrasattva is not so power, it depends your motivation. So I will talk this detail later, but first just very important to correct your motivation. As you know, the ordinary people like us, usually our motivation is not so pure. It's not necessarily all the time correct. So that's why very important. So therefore, you need to know very clearly and make sure that your motivation is strong and correct with bodhicitta. And it doesn't matter whether or not you receive all the realizations of enlightenment, okay? It's enough that you are sort of trying to control your mind and relax and purify your negative karma in this retreat today. So it's almost impossible to understand everything, to realize the nature of Vajrasattva, to realize the nature of your mind, to realize the nature of all phenomena. It's also impossible maybe for most of us, but it's enough just you try to purify. You recognize that you have negative emotions, negative karma, and you think and you feel that you have to purify that. That's really good, that's really good. Sometimes people are always, I'm perfect, I have nothing wrong with me, and I don't have to any purify, so that's selfish, we are here, think about in this world, this samsara, why you are here? Because you have negative karma, otherwise you are not here. Or maybe you have more capacity to help others, even though you are in this samsara. Maybe you are already enlightened, maybe you are bodhisattva, then of course, yes. But maybe you don't have that. Then you don't have capacity to help others limitless way, or maybe you don't experience that nature of your mind, experience all these things. Then there is a negative karma, that's the sign. So that's why we all need to purify our negative karma. So very important, okay? And another important thing is you need to understand the value of the Dharma teaching and meditation. Otherwise, these days, there are so many Dharma activities, everywhere for sort of different purpose. So, it is really not necessarily good, unfortunately. So you need to understand the value of your meditation, the value of the Buddhist teaching. So then, easily to, develop your mind, easily to change, So that's why very important. And in general, the practice meditation section, about an hour. With my teaching, and because if the section is short, then you will do very well, and short section give you much sort of energy and comfortable. So before we start practice meditation Vajrasattva, it is important to have an understanding of what it is. Many of you understand, and you already practice, but but maybe some of you maybe don't know. So that's why I'm going to a little bit explain that. And, and generally in our lives, sort of success, including success in such ordinary things like, family and friendship and business and health, and all this, depends upon purifying negative karma. Sometimes we have difficulty, and this kind of difficult situation, I think because we believe that this is karma, negative karma, or we call it sometimes obstacle. So as for the Vajrasattva purification practice, which is more powerful than the negative karma. That's why Vajrasattva is the antidote, So therefore, the practice of purification, one of the most important solution to our life's, these problems. And it is extremely necessary, right? Necessary, even, for people who believe there is only one life, this lifetime, even though that's not true, but some people just believe only this life. So even though it's very important, this purification, very important. Because this success, like friendship, family, all your business, all this success, it depends on your, the purifying negative karmic obstacles. So that's why very important. And thank you very much for coming. And you think that you really need to purify your negative karma. So that means you really understand that, these obstacles and negative karmas is really power and sort of cause of our root, problem, the cause of the problem. So that's why we have to purify that. And if you practice Vajrasattva, the correctly, then there is no doubt that you will receive a most powerful purification. As also you probably know, Vajrasattva is practice that is mostly connected to purify negative actions, obscurations, and what do you call it, habitual tendencies, that are the main obstacles to growing along the spiritual path to enlightenment, So it is so important to diminish, again, it's so important to diminish our obscurations. So then if you do that, your realization can arise, So right now, we it's difficult to understand all this, the union of what? The union of the emptiness or bodhicitta. That's my favorite things. The union of emptiness and bodhicitta. Eventually we have to practice on that, right? The union of emptiness and bodhicitta. But right now, this realization is a little bit difficult to understand because the obstacles, the habitual tendencies, so these are so powerful. That's why we have to practice first. This is also foundation, And Vajrasattva is practice, very important. And Patur Rinpoche, he said that there is really nothing good about our negative actions, negative karma. All right, but the only good thing is that they can be purified through our practice. That's the only good thing. Otherwise, the negative karma, all these defilements, afflictions, nothing good about it because all these are the problems, cause of the problem. This is the cause of samsara. So there is nothing good about it, but the good thing is we can purify You have to understand that. Otherwise, some people say, okay, I have done something wrong, so I can't do it. I can't, diminish that because I already done. But that's not true. According to Buddhism, even though you killed so many people, you do something bad, but you can purify that. You have to understand that. Otherwise, there's useless. Your meditation, your practice meditation is useless. So for what? If you can't purify your negative karma, then what is for your meditation? So that's why you have to really understand and believe that you can purify your negative obstacles. That is in general, and first of all, I will explain about how to do the Vajrasattva practice. The visualizations and the recitations. So we have this, okay? You start visualizing. First of all, this section I'm going to teach you how to visualize and how to practice Vajrasattva, okay? And then today we have 4 sections. So the other sections I'm not going to teach you how to visualize Vajrasattva because you have to remember these visualizations, on later. So first you visualize the white lotus above your head. Okay? On the lotus is full, so moon disk, moon, the circle, moon disk. And understand on the full moon disk, then visualize the Vajrasattva. So these pictures actually give you a little bit, how to visualize Vajrasattva. This lotus actually, this lotus is actually rainbow color, right? Blue, green, red, all these colors. But you can just visualize white color, the lotus, white color, or you want, if you like to, different colors, that's fine. So above your head, and then visualize, see this picture, exactly same, the lotus, right? And then top of there is can you see the white things, Vajrasattva sitting on the white circle thing? That's the moon disk, okay? And then Vajrasattva there, right? So you visualize Vajrasattva there, and his color is kind of white, and he has one face and 2 arms like us. I like that. And in his right hand, he holds the Vajra. See, on his heart center. And in his left hand, he holds the bill at his left on his hip. And his legs are crossed. So that is in general, very easy. So all this, he has ornaments and clothes like that. I'm not going to explain this in detail. So you just, visualize this picture, like this picture. Sometimes we visualize first, Hong syllable and transform into immediately Vajrasattva like that. But you don't have to visualize that. If you're a little bit difficult, if you're a beginner, so you just visualize this Vajrasattva above your head. And then his heart, Vajrasattva's heart, visualize again small, moon, small moon disk. And on the moon, you need to visualize the Hong syllable. There is this picture. Now I'm talking this picture, all right? Hong syllable. This circle is blue, but actually this is the moon. It's white. White, and then white Hong syllable. You can visualize, this is Tibetan letter, but you can visualize English, Hong, H-U-N-G, Hong. Hong syllable. And then visualize its syllables arranged around the Hong syllable in a circle. See? The Vajrasattva. This is Vajrasattva Sama, the 100 syllable Vajrasattva mantra, you know. So Vajrasattva's heart, right? Vajrasattva above your head. His heart center, you visualize Hong syllable. Around the Hong syllable, these other syllables, the 100 syllable. You don't have to visualize in very detail and vividly. You just think that all 100 syllables are there, you know, and then that's fine. This is Vajrasattva's heart center, okay? And all these mantras, right, the 100 syllable mantras around the Hong syllable is counterclockwise, okay? And these syllables, none of them touch each other, you know, just stand like the syllables stand like this, you know. They're not touching each other, and counterclockwise. Counterclockwise.
That's clockwise.
This is okay. Oh, this is clockwise. Okay, they're not counterclockwise. Counterclockwise, okay, Bon tradition, they visualize counterclockwise. Okay, we, Buddhism, you know, clockwise. Okay? Then when you recite the 100 syllable mantra, so you visualize that, understand? And then you recite the 100 syllable mantra as a kind of prayer. Imagine at the same time that, you know, all these syllables, the nectar of wisdom and compassion drops down from each of these syllables. You know, like one drop after other, like that, you know, continually, you know. And the nectar dropping down through the body of Vajrasattva, because, you know, Vajrasattva above your head. And you visualize these syllables, Vajrasattva's heart center. So it's through the body of Vajrasattva and passing through the crown of your head, and also into your also other beings. So when you another one, I forgot it. And when you visualize Vajrasattva, not only yourself, you are here and surround yourself. There are all living beings there. Okay, and then practice with you Vajrasattva. So then exactly you have to visualize all living beings above Vajrasattva. So many millions of Vajrasattvas. Do you know how many human beings in this planet? 7 billion. I heard that. So 7 billion human beings there. And Vajrasattva, 7 billion Vajrasattvas above their head. So you don't have to the visualizations you don't have to vividly visualize if you can't. I mean, if you're a beginner, it can't. I know that. So if you can, very nice. If you can't, don't worry. So just they are there, you know. And then you got this, the nectar. Actually, it's represent Vajrasattva's wisdom and compassion. So actually, you got blessings from Vajrasattva, and the 100 syllable mantra. 100 syllable mantra and Vajrasattva are inseparable. Okay, so then you, as soon as you get this, the nectars, the Vajrasattva's compassion, wisdom, then purify your negative actions, all the harmful actions, all your physical illness, all your obscurations, obstacles, all of these things, living on and purified your body, purified all of them. Understand? And you have to think that not only your own obscurations have been purified, right? So we always think about ourselves all the time. But from Buddhist point of view, that's not good. So you have to think all living beings, purified, all these obscurations, all these are purified, okay? And also you sort of ask for him, Vajrasattva, to purify them and to have sort of compassion for you, okay? So you have to think like this, when you practice Vajrasattva, I have accumulated the harmful negative actions, all these negative things because of my ignorance and my, confusion. But you have to think that now I know what is beneficial and what is harmful, and I will never sort of commit them again. Okay? Now we can, that's the first visualizations. You understand? Any questions? Clear? Yeah?
As far as like an attitude towards negative karma or anything like that, are there any recommendations that you have towards that as like, or like a way of visualizing that sort of thing, or like, so you approach your negative actions with compassion too? Or like, never mind, I didn't have any questions. Sorry.
Oh, you don't have any question? Okay, good. Just visualize that. You don't have to think about in detail what your negative karma, negative actions. Just all our negative karma and obstacles, obscurations, just purified through this meditation. So that's all. And now we should recite the 100-syllable mantra with this visualization. This mantra, the 100-syllable mantra, is very powerful. So, it is very important to recite it very clearly, and, we can do this slowly, Then after we finish the 100-syllable mantra, then we recite the confession prayer and recite the 6-syllable mantra. There is another visualizations, but I will explain you that later, okay? So now we have here, first there is a 7-line prayer. This is the Dhammasambhavas. We have to say this one time, that's fine. And then there is the 4 boundless qualities, it's actually 4 thoughts that change your mind. So we have to say that one time. Okay, and 1 second, just to relax and correcting your motivation. Just 1 second, and then we can start. All right. Hong in the northwest, the land of Bodhiyana, in the center of burning lotus flower, is the one with supreme wondrous city, the renowned lotus-born Dhammakara, surrounded by a vast retinue of Dakinis. Following in your footsteps, I pray, please come and bestow your blessings. Guru Padma Siddhi Hong. May all sentient beings have happiness in the cause of the happiness. May they be free from suffering in the cause of the suffering. May they never depart from the sublime bliss that is free from suffering. May they remain in a state of equanimity, free from attachment and aversion to those near and far. Refuge in bodhicitta. Homage all the materialist sentient beings and I take refuge in the Lama, the essence of Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, and the mandala of the ocean of Vajrasattva, with devotion and from the gifts of Arhats, who, having entered this mandala of Vajrasattva, for all the father and mother like sentient beings of the six realms, in order to liberate them with immeasurable compassion, I generate the awakened mind, relative in aspiration and action and absolute. Visualization. I am in my ordinary form, above my head on the white lotus, in the center of moon disk is Hum, which becomes the Lama Vajrasattva, brilliant white with complete Sambhogakaya ornaments, holding Vajra and bell, and embracing the consort Vajratopa. I take refuge in you and pray, purify all our negative actions. With the deepest regret, I acknowledge them all and ask your forgiveness. From now on, even if my life is at stake, I shall refrain from indulging them again. In your heart, upon a full moon, is the letter Hum, encircled by the mantra. Reciting the mantra invokes your wisdom mind, and from the point of union of the blissful play of Yagyum, a cloud of bodhicitta nectar flows down like a shining stream of milk. Through this, for me and all sentient beings of the three worlds, may our negative karma and destructive emotions, the causes of suffering, illnesses, harmful influences, negative actions, and obscurations, along with wrongdoing, downfalls, and blockages due to breakages of samaya, be purified until not a single one remains. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Tenopa Tishta Drido Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Subhokaya Me Bhava Anarato Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Priyasha Sarva Karma Siddha Me Chitam Shriyam Kuru Om Ha 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 Om Bhagavan Sarvatathagata Vajramani Mantra Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatishta Drido Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Subhokaya Me Bhava Anuvarato Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Priyasha Sarva Karma Siddhami Chitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatathagata Vajramani Mantra Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manubalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatishta Drido Me Bhava Sutokaya Me Bhava Subhokaya Me Bhava Anurato Me Bhava Sarva Siddhi Me Priyasha Sarva Karma Siddha Me Chitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatathagata Vajramani Mantra Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva 3 times. We'll practice more later. So it's a little bit hard if you are new. So don't worry, you will learn it. And now once we have saying this prayer, and we need to think that the Vajrasattva with moon disk and 100-syllable mantra that you visualize above your head are dissolved into light, okay, and dissolve into you. Understand? And you are no longer have ordinary form, but you are now sort of transformed into Vajrasattva, just as you visualized Vajrasattva before. Okay? At this time, visualize. So do you understand? I'm talking the second. There are two totally different visualizations in this meditation. So the first, you understand, right? You visualize you are just an ordinary person. You don't have to think anything. Just you are here, or living beings here, and you visualize Vajrasattva above your head, and then you are sort of purifying, practice and try to purify your negative karmas, right? So this time, that at the end, the Vajrasattva, the 100-syllable mantra, and then you have to visualize all these visualizations above your head dissolve into you, okay? And you are no longer ordinary person like now with lots of negative karma, lots of problems, not like that. So you transform into Vajrasattva. Understand so far? Okay, very good. And then at this time, you are Vajrasattva, right? So your heart center, again, white moon disk. And in the center, now I'm talking about 6-syllable mantras. Om Vajrasattva Hom. These pronunciations, it's not so, we are kind of now mixing, like some people say both Tibetan pronunciation and Sanskrit, pronunciation. That's okay, so whatever you want, that's fine. So now the 6th syllable, we'll meditate on this, but the 6th syllable mantra. But the first visualization, your heart center, you have to visualize the 6th syllable mantra. Okay, we don't have that picture, but that's fine. Yeah, like you have to think about English. Okay, you don't know the Tibetan letters. So Om Vajrasattva Hom. Oh, you have, there is one. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, passing around this, maybe those know this practice, you don't have to take a look, but they are new people, I think, today, so they don't know how to visualize this. So, Om Vajrasattva Hom, that's 6-syllable mantra, okay? So your heart center, the Hom syllable inside, the central, and then Om Vajrasattva Hom. So 4 directions, right? Om Vajrasattva, Om Vajrasattva Hom. Central, Hom syllable, center. Understand? And these are actually different colors, the syllables. But you don't have to visualize different color. Just one color is fine. White color, Om Vajrasattva. If you can, this is blue, red, yellow, white color. Different 5 colors. But if you're a little bit problem, then fine. You just visualize white color. Hold this 6-syllable mantra. Okay? So Hom syllable. In front of Hom syllable, then Om. and then Om, and then the Om Bajra, and then behind the Hong syllable, Sa, and then the left. Right. Yeah, Vajrasattva, and then Hong, okay? And as you recite Om Vajrasattva Hong, these lights, either you can visualize 5 sort of different colors: white, yellow, red, green, and blue. Or you can visualize white only white color. So emanate from the syllables in an upward direction. Right now your heart center, right? So this light goes up direction, and then you visualize that offering to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, okay? This light goes up, and then you kind of offer Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. Sometimes you visualize the tip of the what do you call it, the light. You visualize very beautiful ladies have lots of jewelries, all these offerings. You visualize that and then offer to Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. But when you visualize this, light goes up direction, you just think about Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, holy beings, all there, and you just offer that, okay? And then sort of, visualize that as soon as you offered Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, also you receive their compassion and wisdom. And then another one is the lights, another light, visualize the lights rays sort of shot off, downwards, and from the syllables, and then sort of touching all living beings and purify all their negative actions and sufferings. That's all. That's second visualization.
So the 5, what you're visualizing is the 5 wisdom Buddha families, right? In some ways, the different lights symbolize.
No, keep simple. So just to visualize the lights, offering goes up, offering Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. You get blessings from wisdom, from Buddhas, compassion, and then light goes down, touching all living beings. They purify their negative karma and sufferings. That's all. Okay? Do you understand what is different between these 2 visualizations? Yeah?
Yeah. Sorry.
Go ahead.
So the first visualization, we're visualizing Vajrasattva over all of the sentient beings, and they're doing the practice while we're doing the practice also. But then we become Vajrasattva, but they don't become Vajrasattva.
Oh, you can. There's another one. They say they also become a Vajrasattva.
They do. Uh-huh. And then later, we're Vajrasattva, then it all dissolves to us, and then we do this little thing, and then we send it down to the sentient beings from there. Okay.
Yes, that's correct. Okay? Same question? I know that.
Would you give the colors and the direction for the 6 syllables?
Yes.
From yourself, please.
Yeah. Okay. See the picture? Where is the picture?
It's around the
Okay, which one is the color? Can you tell us? Okay, Om. Om is white. And then Om. Ba is Bajra. Om Bajra is yellow. Sa, red. Sattva, in Tibet we say Sato. That is green. And Hong, central, is blue. Can you visualize that kind of things? I don't know. Eventually, well, good to know. And, if you can't, that's no problem. Just lights, just white lights. So, the first visualization, when you practice 100-syllable mantra, actually, you are visualizing Vajrasattva is the sort of object of your refuge. and you are focusing on how to purify your negative actions and others, right? But the second visualization, when you visualize yourself become a Vajrasattva with these 6 syllable mantras, this time you are visualizing that you are transformed into Vajrasattva, and then offer to Buddha's Bodhisattva, and then also focus on how to purify negative actions for living beings rather than yourself. Okay? So this time you don't need to think about your negative actions because you are become a Vajrasattva, but this sort of gives you how to help other living beings and to purify them, not thinking about your self and purify your negative karmas. The second visualization. Understand? Yeah.
A question about the first visualization, because the image we have here and what you described is simply Vajrasattva, but the text refers to his consort.
Yes, there are text in some Vajrasattva practice there is no his consort, only him. Some Vajrasattva with consort, you can visualize that. So the consort in Vajrasattva is actually the represent the union of the emptiness, and sometimes they say the union of emptiness wisdom, sometimes they say the union of emptiness and Vajrasattva, the bodhicitta. So you can whatever you want. I always visualize only Vajrasattva, no consort. I like that way. But if you like with consort, you can do that. Clockwise. Yeah, clockwise. The 100 syllable mantra, right? Yes, okay. This is also, yes.
So it's like a merry-go-round with the horses that goes around you, right?
This,
and they're all upright. All the syllables.
but they're not moving, okay? Just stand up there, clockwise. Understand?
Yeah.
The syllables not moving.
What is clockwise? Just the
They're arranged.
They're arranged around the whole syllable clockwise. That's good. And then at the end, Vajrasattva, at the end, the visualization for dissolving, not just finish. Okay, we're not finished yet. So dissolving Vajrasattva should look like this. Okay, first visualize that Vajrasattva. Now, at the end, right? At the end, Vajrasattva, you are the Vajrasattva, right? So visualize Vajrasattva dissolving or melting into light and dissolving into the six mantras, 6 syllables in your heart center. And these mantras dissolve each other, one by one, each other. And then the last Hong syllable, right? Last Hong syllable is the center. Hong syllable and then dissolving into light. And then the light is like a rainbow, disappear into space, and dissolve into, sort of kind of, what do you call it? The simplicity, free from any sort of concept and elaborations. So at the end, you have to, if you understand the practice, understand the emptiness or nature mind, you have to meditate on that in the end. Or after this the dissolvance, you are done everything, then you meditate on emptiness. If you don't understand emptiness or nature mind, then you just relax and without thoughts. You just relax, meditate on that. Just quiet and relax and meditate on that as much as you can. Any questions? That's the visualizations. Okay, yeah.
Recap real quick, the second one, it goes out to other people?
Yes. Yes, the lights, right? The light goes down. Light goes up, offering. You offer to Buddha Bodhisattvas. and then you get wisdom mind and compassion from the whatever you believe, okay? You believe Buddha, Bodhisattva, whatever you believe, that they are compassion, and you got the blessing. And then second light goes down and touching all living beings and purify their suffering.
Briefly repeat the sequence of dissolving the six-syllable mantra.
Six-syllable mantra, you actually visualize at your heart center, the clockwise, right? So Hong syllable is the center, and then in front of Hong syllable, Om, and then right Hong syllable, Vajra, and then behind Hong syllable, Sa, and then left Hong syllable, Sattva, Fa, or Ta, Vajrasattva, I like that, Vajrasattva, and then Hong. So dissolve in, Om dissolve into Vajra, Vajra dissolve into Sa, Sa dissolve into To, dissolve into Hong, Hong dissolve into nothing. To understand emptiness, that's the emptiness. Not nothingness, but emptiness. Normally, you think of the mind as being very strong and powerful, right? Especially when all the thoughts and these negative karma, the afflictions arise. But when you carefully sort of examine to see where the mind actually is, you find that there's nothing there, just a state of peace, or this is at the end dissolving Vajrasattva's visualizations. Then you have to a little bit examine with your minds. And if you find out the peace, the awareness of your mind, that is the reality of your mind. When I say this, it may seem difficult sort of to understand, but it may also be something very easy to understand, because this is we're talking about our mind, not someone else. I'm talking about my mind and investigate my mind and try to find out my mind. I'm not find out your mind, right? So we all thinking about our mind, not else. Maybe this is easy to understand. It is right here. Therefore, it is something that you can know, and it depends how you think. So when you are sort of looking at the mind directly, you are seeing its nature, which you can call the union of awareness and emptiness. That's what we call it, union of awareness and emptiness. So then when you find out that, then you just simply need to keep on looking at it. There's nothing else that you need to be done. That's all. That's the meditation. So do you understand what is the purpose of meditation, Vajrasattva meditation? What? Purification? Yeah? Why? Why purify negative? Why? Cause of suffering? Recognize primordial purity. Yeah. Right now we can't actually, it's difficult to recognize the nature of mind directly, because this negative emotions so powerful, I think, so powerful, and they control our mind. So there is no room and to think about the nature of mind. But nature of mind, you have to know that's always there, right there, and it's perfect. It's nothing wrong. We don't have to purify the nature mind, but you have to purify the negative karmas, negative emotions. Negative emotion, negative karma is not our nature mind. So that's 3 visualizations in this meditation. Do you understand? Okay? Now you're ready if you understand that. So, what?
Question.
Yeah?
Something that very teaching with Sogal Rinpoche, he would always say, stabilize your mind, stabilize your mind. And the other thing was, in visualizations, the feminine divine beings, the white Tara, green Tara, sometimes we forget about white Tara, green Tara. So I think for women, there's Buddhist women practitioners, that's important for them to connect with green Tara, white Tara, but also men too, within the Buddha field. Right?
Yep. Well, they are so different. Well, in Buddhism, we have lots of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, right? So just different idea, I think. Some other religions, there it's only one Buddha. I don't know what you call it, Buddha or not, but only one. That's above you. That's always better than you. Buddhism, we don't believe that only one better than you all the time. We, Buddhism, think that there is a potential. You have opportunity to become a Buddha, because we all possess the Buddha nature. And if you recognize that and purify, diminish all your negative things totally, then we call the Buddha. So then you are become a Buddha. So that's why we have so many Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, right? There is not only one Buddha. So you can, all these actually Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, ultimate level, they are same. Nothing different. Okay? Ultimate level, everything is go beyond. Everything is without concept. So everything is without cause and conditions. Relative level, different Buddhas, Buddha Shakyamuni, Padmasambhava, Avalokiteshvara, all this Vajrasattva, all different. Different. Because we need that. Some people like practice Grantara, some people like practice Vajrasattva, some people like practice with Buddha. So that's why there is options, So whatever you believe, you like, you can visualize that. It's not necessarily Vajrasattva here today. Yeah?
This is my first teaching on the Vajrasattva.
Oh, okay.
And it seems
Boy,
like,
that would be difficult then.
but when I've gone to lamas and teachers before to say, how do I purify my karma? They basically said, just tell your teacher, or your root guru, and you're taken care of.
I little bit disagree that. It's actually depends on your devotion, your faith, all that kind of things. But, Buddhist point of view, that's not completely, truly true. It depends you, not your root teacher. You are going to purify your negative karma or not, it depends you. Okay? You practice, you meditate, you visualize all this, and then you can, right? If you don't practice, you don't do anything, teacher can't purify your negative karma. No. Even Buddha says, no. Do you remember Buddha's the famous quote? That's I show you the what is that path to the liberation, and it depends, totally depends upon you. I mean, that means he understood how to teach you, how to purify your negative karma. We don't know, right? So he teaches you that, he shows you this, he gave you these instructions. But if you don't follow his instruction, which means you don't practice, he can't do anything. Okay? Even though the root teacher may be full of compassion, right? Full of love and kindness, full of bodhicitta, still they can't. They can't purify. Otherwise, you think about in this world, how many living beings are suffering. If I have a full of compassion, bodhicitta, I don't want their suffering all the time. But I can't. I can't help because that's their karma. It's not karma, but their negative emotions, their problems. I cannot really help. I can help, I teach them how to practice, how to purify, how to become a good person, how to practice compassion. All this I can help. But if they don't practice, then that's all. Then I can't. Understand? Very important. We have responsibility to purify our own negative karma. Do not think that, I believe my teacher, I love my teacher, so teacher will take care of my negative karma or all this problem. That's impossible, So the most important is just to listen and teaching and understand the instructions, and then you have to practice. That's the only way you purify your negative karma, through your meditation. Yeah? One question.
Yeah, one question. So when we do the refuge in bodhicitta, we say, I take refuge in the Lama, and then the essence of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the mandala of the ocean of Vajrasattva. Is the mandala of the ocean of Vajrasattva on the ultimate level, we're taking refuge in the nature of mind, right? We're taking refuge in the truth of reality. But on the relative level, when you're visualizing, or you're saying those words in the mandala of the ocean of Vajrasattva, do you visualize any mandala, or how do you visualize?
Mandala means they're all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas around Vajrasattva. That's what we call mandala.
So it's like
Don't visualize that there is the sand mandala, the different colors. There are fires, and there are lots of cemeteries. There are lots of house with the ornaments like that. That's not. That's another mandala. But in this time, the mandala means all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas around Vajrasattva. Okay, do you want to practice Vajrasattva 100-syllable mantra again? Yeah. Ready? Okay, try to meditate on that and try to visualize. I will explain this more later, but you don't have to visualize all these things at the same time. You can first I think maybe a few times you just focus on how to say Vajrasattva 100-syllable mantra. And the second time, then you can visualize, Vajrasattva. And then another time, visualize other things. So you can do this separately, and you can do this together simultaneously, So let's okay. We have 10 minutes, okay? So we just say 100-syllable mantra now, that's all. Now we'll say 100-syllable mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasattva Tejapati Vijayaro Mebhava Sutosho Mebhava Sukosho Mebhava Anaraktu Mebhava Sarva Siddhi Mekriyasha Sarva Karma Suchame Shitam Shayam Kuru Om
Bhagavan Sarvatathagata, Vajramami Munisha, Vajrasattva Samaya Sattva. Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manipulaya, Vajrasattva Teva, Judo Meva, Sushora Meva, Sushora Meva, Anurakti Meva, Sarva Siddhi Mekriyasha, Sarva Karma Suchame, Shitam Shreya Kuru Om, Ha 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 Om, Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata, Vajramami Munisha, Vajrava Mahasamaya Sattva. Om Vajrasattva Samaya, Manipulaya, Vajrasattva Teva, Judo Meva, Sushora Meva, Sushora Meva, Anurakti Meva, Sarva Siddhi Mekriyasha, Sarva Karma Suchame, Shitam Shreya Kuru Om, Ha 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 Om, Bhagavan Sarva Tathagata, Vajramami Munisha,
Vajrabhava Mahasambhaya Sadhu. Now we have the confession prayer. Third page. Oh, protector
in
my
ignorance and delusion, I have gone against and corrupted my Samaya. Lama protector, be my refuge, chief of all mandalas, Vajra holder, embodiment of great compassion, chief of all living beings, in you I take refuge. I confess all my impairments of the root and branch Samayas of body, speech, and mind. I implore you, let my negative actions, obscurations, wrongs, and downfalls, all my flaws, be completely cleansed and purified.
Om Vajrasattva 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 4 minutes. Now the dedication, please. True Vajrasattva, we pray, grant us
without impediments and obstacles arising, favorable circumstances, the fulfillment of our aspirations, and attainments ordinary and supreme. As all victorious Buddhas of the past, present, and future praise dedication as supreme. So now I dedicate all these sources of my merit for all means to perfect revelation.
Take a break, few minutes.